Hi, Mason. So this is a little bit of a different dynamic for you and for me. You're on the hot seat. So I don't think that you have ever sat in the hot seat and been interviewed, right?
Not on my show.
So this is your first time having someone else ask you questions.
Yeah. On here it is. But
Okay.
I've been on a few different podcasts, of course, but on mine is first time, so I'm looking forward to it.
So I'm feeling very special about that.
Yeah. So you're
I'm
the first.
Sorry, I'm just giving myself a round of applause. So, firstly, it's so good to see you. I know that we connected when you interviewed me on a podcast, and I cannot believe it was over a year ago. It was over a year ago. Where does time go? Firstly, secondly, where does time go?
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Like we've done this about a year ago. And like we're 1 year older, so there we go.
You know what? I know. It's very sensitive topic for me because you and I are both in September and we're getting a whole year older.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Why do we age?
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
yeah, I've actually got so much I want to ask you. Let me start by this. When you have autism
Yeah.
and you have Crohn's, and that's quite a combination of things to have. I mean, having one or the other is challenging in itself. So I can only imagine having to go through your life and going through all these challenges with both of these things, and you're still rocking it. I mean, you're still doing the podcasts, and I mean, it's absolutely amazing. But so just give me a little bit of history. Maybe just start with when were you diagnosed with your Crohn's and autism, and maybe just start with that so that we can get a little bit of some context.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was diagnosed with autism in 2009. So I would have been 9. Um, and I was diagnosed with Crohn's 2017. So I'd have been about not long after my birthday. I was diagnosed in the October, so I was turning 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how, I mean, being 9 years old, I mean, how did you, how was it explained to you? Because I can imagine a 9-year-old, you're being told you've got autism. I mean, how was that for you? How did they sort of explain that to you?
Yeah, it was I don't remember all through a lot because I was quite young, but what I do remember, I remember going to London. In London there was like a hospital you went to do tests of to see if you had autism, and I remember that. I remember little bits of that. It takes a while to get any diagnosis of anything. But what happened was, I did all that, and I eventually did get told I had autism. And when I did get told I have autism, I didn't really know anything about it. I thought it was a really bad thing at first. I didn't really understand it, I guess, and that's what led to me not liking having it and thought it was all bad.
And what, I mean, what did you do to educate yourself, especially in that age? I mean, you're getting diagnosed with something, you have absolutely no idea what this is. You're 9 years old. I mean, what was walk me through the process of how you exposed yourself and educated yourself on this, whether it was your parents that helped you. I mean, I just want to understand a bit more.
Yeah, my parents probably did the most of it, you know. I think what happened beforehand was maybe signs, possibly, that I would line up. I had cast it like when I was younger. All the 2000 kind of stuff. Um, So like, I had like your car mat and then your car, so you find your car mat, and I always used to line them up. Always used to collect same colours and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of shows your autism, and it's changed a lot since like the 80s, because the 80s you probably wouldn't have been much harder to get diagnosed than it is now. It's still hard, but there wouldn't be as signs that you have now back then. And what happened was, like I didn't like I would have been at primary school. I would have, so I wouldn't have known much about it, and I was always in like in class, the group that maybe needed more support. So it kind of made me feel a bit dumb, but knowing getting older, I may not be as good as a certain one person. Maybe maths, I might not be good at maths, like bid maths or stuff like that. I might not be good at that, but on the other note, I might be good at something else. I might when I was that age, I wasn't good at talking. I was always quiet. So I was always quiet. I always hid that I needed help and stuff. So for example, if everyone in the class knows what they're doing, I don't want to say I need the help because I feel a bit like left out, I guess.
And I mean, look at how well you're talking now. You have an entire podcast,
Yeah.
which is amazing. Just firstly, I just want to give you a little bit of a round of applause just for myself. But tell me, so how did you get from there to here? I mean, you're clearly amazing at speaking, and I know that autism, from what I know about it, and I'm sure there's so much I don't know, but from what I do know is it's quite difficult for you to, and I hope I'm being correct in this, to maybe communicate, or there's something socially that, I mean, maybe you can elaborate more on this, but touching on what you said, how did you get from that point to a point where you've decided to just start a podcast and invite people from all over the world and build that courage up and be really, really brave and speak so well? How did that happen?
Well, I guess like it was really difficult to start with because I was in like I transferred like after primary school, still weren't that confident about certain things, and then I went to like school, like high school, as you say, and in other countries like America and kind of stuff. So but I went there, and then I didn't really get on with it straight away because people didn't understand me. At that moment in time, I did have Crohn and autism because I was in my last year of school, like yeah, I was in my last year of school then, and then like I went to college, and it was okay there. But school terms, it's complicated because it's just a school and college, but you go to school. I, I before I went to a special school with other people who have autism, I went to a mainstream school, which, like I said, they didn't understand really,
Yeah.
and they kind of just put it aside, and they weren't really understanding the kind of lot of pressure. So I was there about a year and a bit, and I left, and then I went to special school, which I still wasn't confident at the start, but then I grew on it, and then knowing there's other people there that have autism like me, I kind of it helped, I guess, and there are lots of teachers that are nice. So from there, I kind of got better of my confidence and talked about different things, and then I suppose that helped when getting diagnosed with Crohn's. I know Crohn's wasn't easy at the start, but it kind of helped, I guess, because like start a night a page about Crohn's initially to start with. It was had an idea just a page about my Crohn's journey, and then I thought, hang on a minute, I've got autism too, so I don't. Eventually, then I decide to create a podcast. At first, it was just about my journey still, and then I thought, hang on a minute, I learned about it. I learned about what a podcast was, and talk about like Crohn's and autism, and then eventually, once I talked a lot about that, I kind of do different mini series about. Did one about mental health, did just recently finished one about Doctor Who and autism. So because Doctor Who, like autism, is not a lot with your hobbies. Like you might get hyperfixated on a certain thing, and Doctor Who is quite a good topic, because talking about one thing that's really well known to maybe another thing that maybe isn't. So that's kind of been more this year, really. These different mini series, like when we did the one with you last year, that was like series 5, and I will still be doing those kind of series, but I do like doing these kind of different, I suppose, about a subject, I guess, and it's nice because like you know, like you meet different people, I guess, and it helped during lockdown as well. And I thought it might have just been a lockdown thing, but and COVID thing, but COVID still ain't gone away and still impacts people's lives. Just still people getting it now. So and you never know what's happened with your Crohn's, if you're going to be in the flare or something. Which is why I like to do episodes in advance, because you never know if your Crohn's is going to flare, or people ask if episode's not there. But yeah, so it's good fun.
It sounds like good fun. So tell me, and I'm just quite interested. So you say you went from a mainstream school, and you were misunderstood, and you went to what you called a special school, correct?
Yeah.
What is it that you struggled with, that you felt you couldn't really fit in a mainstream school? I mean, what is it about autism? I'm just genuinely, I might be ignorant and I might not know a lot, but what is it about autism that you felt like you needed to go to somewhere special to thrive, essentially?
Like go
I mean,
back.
what are the challenges there?
Okay. Like what I said before is that when I struggled to ask for help, like in primary school, maybe for example, and it was kind of that, like like when I went to mainstream school, I wouldn't ask for help, and there were certain situations like there was a situation where I got told to go to a library, well the class did, and was there about 15, probably a half hour, I guess, and the teacher, not like no one was coming to the library, and it wasn't just me. It was other people that said, "Yeah, that's right," and I think we're right. And then we go back half an hour later to the classroom where we were told, and the teacher's like, "Well, where have you been?" And we're like, "We've been to the library," um, like waiting to go in for like the lesson and stuff. And then the teacher's like, "I didn't tell you to do that," and I was thinking, well, "What do you mean you did?" And at that point in time, I wasn't confident to say that, so I wouldn't say something like that. Now I would. I kind of wish I'd go back now, but stuff like that I wouldn't say then. So at that point, I wasn't confident at all either. It's all bad. And then what she said, that you got detention, which I don't think it was that day. I might have gone to detention. I'm not sure. But like a timeout where you're just like you're told off, and you got to basically do maybe a piece of work that you might have missed because of thinking you got told and stuff, which I did. And that's just one incident there. And then the following day, the head of year, so kind of the head teacher of the year, basically come up to us in like the form class and brought us out, and his kind of posture and how he was approaching us wasn't very good, which I was thinking, and he basically saying angry at us for doing something that we thought we got told to do. So he was basically saying, "Why were you late for class?" And in my mind, I was thinking, it's not really necessary that you're here, because like I know he's had a year, but I suppose you've got other things that he could be doing rather than doing something that we thought was right. And he basically said, he's not. I was the one that spoke because everyone was so scared, I guess, the way he was coming across, and I did speak. I said, well, yeah, we went there, but we thought that's what we did. What we thought we had to do, like, and then there was half of the class probably in there, half not. But if that's the case, if maybe it was just me, I might have gone back earlier than I did. But it wasn't, and as well, the helper teacher was with us. The helper teacher, you know, like this a class, you have a helper teacher with you. She was with us. So I believe that she was. I hope I'm right. Um, yeah, and then we're waiting there, and then the thing that really annoyed me at the time, the head of the year said, he said, I'll let you off this time. So I guess we didn't have the detention in the end. But the thing is, the teacher could have actually asked why we went there and not just say you got detention like straight away. So that kind of stuff in my mind, I wasn't very happy about. That was one incident, and I'll tell you another incident. Stuff like, because sometimes having autism can make people take things more literally, like the way people say things. So when get changed for PE, the PE teacher says, you've got to get changed in 5 seconds. Or less than, like, you got, it counts. So like you're counting like 1, 2, 3, and then when he gets to that, he'll say, if you're not out in a certain amount of time, you'll be locked in. And then of course me, I was half changed, so I was taking clothes out, getting changed. So certain things like that. And that same teacher, I was getting lost because mainstream school's quite big compared to a special school, quite small.
Yeah.
So what would happen? I was lost, and he was there, and I didn't know what page it was. So he said, like, the planner where you have the map of the school, and he says, "Are you lost?" I say, "Yeah, I'm lost." He said, "Where you going?" And I said, "I don't know." And then I said, "Where's your timetable thing?" And then I gave it to him, and he's like, "Can you get to the page?" He asked me to get to the page. And I said, "I'm finding it," and he says to me where I got to go, and then now before he said that, actually, he was getting really impatient because I couldn't find the page, and I said, "If you have somewhere else to be, you go. Like, you don't have to be here." It's like, no. He's like, "Hurry up," and then he tells me in the end where I go, and I still don't know where I'm going because he tells me you go to floor 3, do a left, do a right, and you're there, and then I don't really know what he's talking about, so I'm still late. Because they're quite strict in mainstream, and just those
Yeah.
different incidents that kind of tell, like, the school doesn't really have any knowledge really. They say they do of autism, they understand, but they didn't, and that was an annoying thing.
And how did you feel when these people were almost making you feel like it was, you are the problem, like you don't know what to do? I mean, how did you actually feel in those moments?
I felt like I had to say what they wanted me to say because I didn't want to go into the isolation room, which they had an isolation room when I was there, which I thought was quite bad. Like if someone's been like really, really bad, which I wasn't, but I just didn't want to go in there if I'm getting told off for on silly things. But
Yeah.
there was an isolation room, where so sometimes people, it's not their fault, and they're getting told off maybe because they listen to the music, but people may want to listen to music. It may not because they're not concentrating or they're talking. It may be something else. But yeah, the isolation room, which was quite bad because, like, that's needed probably now, like COVID times, not back then when COVID went about. So yeah, and I asked my friend, well, what was the isolation room like? Because he went in it, and he eventually got a diagnosis of autism too, and he, like my
Oh,
friend, my I went to the special school, and then a couple of years later he did. Um, they did. So it was there, and there was an incident in special school because it's different for everyone, like some people have a better experience of mainstream or a better experience of special. Like in my experience, special school was great, maybe not to start with because it's all new, but eventually it was. But there was one incident that I did get actually autism training, like in the special school I went to, which I didn't think I would need to do, but people did have a good knowledge of autism compared to mainstream, much better. But there was an incident. Well, there's actually two incidents. I'll tell you the first, which I thought was quite funny in the end. Well, basically, I had a science lesson, and I didn't bring my pencil case. I normally do, but I didn't because there was a laptop trolley outside, and I thought, what, like, listening to what the teacher was saying before, like, they'll be doing that next lesson. I was like, okay, I'm not going to bring my pencil case because I'm not going to need it.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there, like, we haven't got the computers out yet, and then teacher asked me, where's your pencil case, Mason? I was like, I didn't bring it, left it. Part of me, I did forget. I did forget that time, part of me, but I still said, well, I normally bring it, don't I? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at kind of stuff. And then and then she said I have a detention, and then I didn't. She said I have a detention. She did because of
Yeah,
that.
detention.
Yeah. She said I have detention because I didn't bring my pencil case.
What?
And then I'll tell you what happened afterwards. And then we had our laptops. During the lesson, a person didn't bring a pencil case too. And then the teacher gave them a pencil, gave them like the equipment, and didn't give them the detention. They didn't give this other person in the class the detention. And afterwards, this would have been a lunchtime detention. So I go, and then as soon as I'm going out, I think the teacher says, "I'll see you at lunchtime, Mason." I was like, "Yeah, I'll see you at lunchtime." This part of my life, I'm very confident. I'm a confident person, more than I was at mainstream. So I'm confident. I can say I have confidence saying things. And then I had conversations with my teachers like about it, and that they agreed with me that it was silly, and and I said I weren't gonna go, like, and then they said I should, and I did go, but as soon as I go, and then science teacher says, "You've got oh, Mason, you're here for your detention, lovely." And then I said, "No, I'm not here for a detention. I'm here for you to chat. I'm here to talk to you." And then I said, "So, why?" So yeah, I understand that I didn't bring my pencil case, but I normally do it all the time. Like, I'm not a bad person.
Obviously.
And she, and then I asked her, "Why are you giving another pencil case, like equipment, to a person that didn't bring it?" And they don't bring it every week because they didn't really. It's rare if this person
Yeah.
brings it every week. And what happened was, I said, "Well, I don't understand why I've got a detention. So why have they not got a detention for doing the same thing I did?" And
Yeah.
then she didn't really have enough to say. So me speaking about the situation is, and then she eventually said, "Mason, I didn't give you detention anyway. Just go to break." And then so I won my argument there, which it would have been unnecessary. Um,
Right.
it would have. So that was that. And another situation was like, there was actually another two situations. I just thought another one, like like in school in school you can be like a prefect, like you have to do
Yeah.
different things, but but I wasn't I've written like a letter in that, or had an interview, but the person who was delivering it said that I didn't sell myself, and for an autistic person that could possibly mean it. I understood it, what it meant, but like for an autistic person, it could be taken differently, and that they gave it to someone else that I think, was more naughty, um, and
Wow.
and wanted to help their behaviour like get better, I guess. But they shouldn't have said that to me when I eventually did get it in the end. A little bit longer, but it would have been better maybe the first time around, because it did make the actual person's behaviour worse, not better. Um, so yeah, and one more incident
Mm.
is, I got, like, after lunchtime, in like maybe school, they'll say go to lunch.
Yeah.
Well, I did, and like there's set time different classes can go, I guess, and because I just went in for lunch straight away. And then like teachers are asking me, like, why are you going for lunch? And I'm saying, I got told to go for lunch. And then they're saying that your class didn't get called. But yeah, but a teacher told me to go to lunch. So that's how the autism training got happened, because teachers weren't understanding my point of view. And they just thought I just went in willy-nilly. And yeah, so there are a few incidents there. Not that they weren't all bad. I just get how people are saying things, and not and like it's good when that kind of stuff happens to the way, because they can have the training that they need.
That sounds horrendous. I
Yeah.
mean, that sounds really, really difficult. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, you're in high school, you are going through the motions, you are young, you're trying to figure out life, and then, you're in a situation where people are just putting you down and making you feel like just being who you are is something to punish you for, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine. And then, so when you moved to this other school and you started connecting with people who were autistic and like could understand your behavior and your thought patterns, how did that change things for you?
I guess it made me quite confident that because like people looked up on me, they would come to me and stuff. Not even people that was my so-called friend group, just people anyway. Like and it weren't like that at the other school. So I guess that helped my confidence. Like people looking forward to seeing me and stuff like that. Which I only have kind of that one. Probably I had a few friends, but at my mainstream, but maybe like one. I'll still talk to you now. So yeah, I mean, we were kind of in the same boat, I guess. But yeah, like it helped. Like there were a few situations, silly situations, like that there was a football court where you weren't allowed to bring your bag in. You had to keep it in your locker, which I didn't want to do. I never trust a locker. People could easily go in there. Um, and they didn't lock either, so it was pointless. So, and the reason is they say don't put your bag on the floor. It's because they were frightened that people would trip. Um, and yeah, I didn't understand that, but sometimes I still do it just to wind the member of staff up. I know you shouldn't, but it was just funny.
And tell me, I mean, I know I'm speaking a lot about autism, and maybe this is just because I don't have it, and it's very new to me. I'm very interested in it, very. But let's talk about your Crohn's, because if the people listening to this don't know, I mean, I was diagnosed with Crohn's a lot more recent than you, and I feel like when you interviewed me, it was quite interesting because it was coming from a place of, what I'm going through. You've been going through it for a lot longer than me, and it was quite healing in a lot of ways. But tell me, so can you give me a little bit of context, like what actually happened that led up to you having to get diagnosed with this illness?
um, well, I was very young, I guess. What led it up was I wasn't eating. One, I was struggling to eat certain things, and I lost a lot of weight during that. I didn't want to eat anything. Um, Something was wrong there. And then I started getting pain, like bad acidy pain, in my stomach area. And I had hot water bottles, and it was very painful. And at this point, I never knew what Crohn's was. I know some people when they get diagnosed, they've even said to me that they know it, and it would have been nice to know it, I guess, before, like just knowing it was quite a big thing now, than back then. Um,
Yes.
like a lot of people getting diagnosed, and like yeah, like that was the main things that was happening. Like lost a lot of weight, weren't eating things. I couldn't eat anything. I was put on these drinks, but I didn't like, so I wasn't winning. either way. So they were the main thing that kind of led to a diagnosis of it.
And so, was there a moment where, I mean, I know for me, there was a moment where it was unbearable that I went to hospital. Was there a moment in time where you were like, I need help? Or was it just something that you were concerned about?
Um, Not, I guess the eating part and weight loss part wasn't. It might have been like I didn't notice it myself. My mum did. I kind of thought something was wrong, so I didn't put that. But when a pain came along, I thought something was wrong, and there was a point in the middle of the night I had to go and get seen because I couldn't sleep. With it, I tried. I even went to school, like like it was a time when exams were, so I was still doing it, even though I had one hand holding my stomach, one hand holding the pencil. But even though it wasn't going to stop it, like holding it, hold my hand on my stomach, because it's on the inside, it's not on the outside.
Yeah.
Which would be nice, if I guess so people know like the pain you go through. It's probably really bloody on the outside, I guess, like what it would like a really bloody, really mild pain. But yeah, that was yeah.
And tell me, I mean, I know that it's quite difficult, and I've found this out through my own process that it's quite difficult to actually diagnose someone with Crohn's. What was that process for you? I mean, was it something that took a really long time? Was it something, that you went to the hospital and it was sort of picked up? I mean, how was that for you?
It didn't take that long, really. I know some people wait ages, don't they? Like with Crohn's, it didn't take that long. Um, like I had to. There was fighting to get appointments. Because I would have needed surgery. I've never had surgery for my Crohn's. Um, so I was told it's good that people are fighting for me because if that one could happen, I would have needed surgery, and things were escalated. Um, which is why we do this, because so some people are quiet about certain things and they think it's nothing, and some people it's important because they want to get it early before you get it late.
Yeah. And I just really want to know, I mean, you've been going through, it's one thing to be autistic, you know what I mean? And then it's another thing to have Crohn's, and it's just two really challenging things to have. And I don't think people they're not educated about it, or people that don't know enough about it, I don't think that they understand the gravity of what you go through on a daily basis. But my question is to you, I mean, what actually helps you in terms mentally to keep you going? Because I know that it takes such a mental toll on you when you're going through things like this. And it's very easy to get sucked into, a negative space. But are there any things that you particularly do that help you get out of that space or cope?
Um, I guess just doing this, I suppose, helps. Um, talking about different things and
Yeah.
meeting up with people. Trying to meet up with people. Um, yeah, that kind of things. And so sometimes I go on my PlayStation, when I'm not busy, just on a joy, I guess. And
Yeah,
yeah, it goes back to hobbies, I guess. Uh,
right.
I like it, so I guess I don't know. uh, um, but yeah, like hobbies and that kind of help, really.
So what kind of things do you play on PlayStation? Just out of interest. I know it's super random.
Um, I play, well, I, every year around September time, I'll get FIFA, like a football game, but
Yeah.
around this time, I get bored of it. So I get bored of it easily. So at, at the minute, I'm playing a game called Horizon Forbidden West. It's like an adventure game, which is it's quite cool. I do like action games. So I've been doing that, and yeah, I do like it. I got the PS5 when it came out, so I was one of the lucky ones. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so that's quite good. Uh, um, yeah.
And does it help you? I mean, okay, firstly, the PS5 looks like it is from the future. Am I right? It looks very, very sleek and very high tech. Amazing. But what does it do? Like, I mean, do you have fun? Is it just about you having fun playing it? Or is it a good escape? I mean, what does it do for you to play those things? Because I think it's important for people to understand who maybe are going through this, what certain things can do for you that you enjoy, that will help you, get through on a daily basis.
Yeah, yeah, like, it does really help. Like gaming is nice, you know. Like I it's nice because you get to do it. Like there's no like you're not in. I guess you do escape from like the real life. Like if something bad's going on, you can enjoy something. Um,
Yeah,
um, but yeah, it's nice because it's not nice when you're not doing well in the game, but if
yeah,
you keep dying or you keep losing. But the nice thing about it is like it's your own comfort. We all have our own comfort zones, don't we? And I think we
yeah,
like
yeah. And so I'm bombarding you with questions, but I'm genuinely just so interested in your answers. Tell me, it's been couple years now that you've been, I mean, quite a few years since you've been diagnosed with autism, but it's been a few years since you've been diagnosed with Crohn's. And it's quite a thing to live with. What are the biggest challenges for you? I mean, on a daily basis, what does it look like for you in your life?
um like nowadays like you know if I was to use the disabled toilet for example, like people don't think you're disabled, so you don't. They just judge you, I guess. Well, they don't always have to say a word. You can kind of tell when they're looking, like, and then you probably say to them, like, "Is there anything the problem?" um, and yeah, it's 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 stuff like that. Like, I sometimes like I don't like big crowds or a lot of people. So I was like maybe a small group or stuff like that. Um, but yeah, like with Crohn's is there's no at the minute I'm doing all right. Like I have my injection every 2 weeks. So I'm due it actually this week as we're speaking on it today. So yeah, you having yours?
Today.
You had yours today.
Yeah.
What are you on at the moment? Are you still on the same as before?
Yeah. So I'm on Humira as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I remember when I just first started Humira and I was like freaking out because I didn't know what was going to happen, if my body was going to take a liking to it or reject it. But I remember speaking to you and it comforted me a lot because I remember you saying to me, like, yeah, I've been on Humira, and it's really just been helping me. So when did you take your injection?
I haven't yet. I'm supposed to either Thursday or Friday this week.
Okay. So, oh, this week.
Yeah, this week.
Oh,
If either
cool.
Thursday or Friday. I normally do it on a Thursday or Friday.
Okay, so we're in the same week.
Yeah, we do it. Like, are you every 2 weeks too?
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you start yours?
So I started mine last year, about January. So it's
Okay.
been maybe a year and a half now. I cannot believe it's been a year and a half. Where did
Yeah.
time go?
Crazy.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's to be honest, before I was taking my injection, I felt like I wasn't living.
Mm.
I almost felt like I couldn't function. And I don't know if it's everyone with Crohn's or whatnot, but it definitely, people are like, oh no, isn't it scary injecting yourself? And I'm like, do you know what? It's more scary not injecting myself.
Yeah, yeah. Like I still don't inject myself. I just get around to it.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't like I feel like I do it wrong. Like eventually I would do it, but
I've done it wrong twice.
how did you do it wrong? What did you do?
So the same as always, I was doing my normal process, the alcohol wipe, the
Yeah, yeah.
stretching out your thigh, making sure that it's in the right place. And then all of a sudden, I was like, shit. I started getting blood was just running down my legs, but like a lot of blood. So I phoned my Humira person. I was like, oh no, am I dying? Like, what is happening? And she was like, you probably just hit a vein. So ever since then, I literally examined my thigh and I'm like, okay, where are the lines of my veins? Trying to just avoid it at any cost because it's something that simple that that can essentially screw it up, you have to be very careful with it.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Like sometimes I always every time I do it, I'll either scream or laugh, um, just to get that out of me.
Is it painful for you?
Not every time.
Not every time.
Not every time. Like it depends. Like
Yeah.
what? Sometimes it's gone wrong. So sometimes it's gone in and I've taken out too early.
Okay.
So all the liquids over my leg. And then ringing up the Humira person, asking what should we do. Like a little bit might have gone in. So and then we just left it like a few days and then just did it again. But I always reward myself after I've done it. I always have like an ice cream or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so wait, how long has it been now? I mean, I know that you've told me, but Crohn's memory is a real thing. To anyone who does not have Crohn's, I feel like I just have no capacity to remember things. I don't know about you. My memory is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. We know you're very sure.
I
Yeah.
actually posed that question on a Facebook Crohn's group, and I was like, is it me? Or does anyone else feel this way? And I just started seeing like hundreds of people commenting, and people were like, oh, I feel like I have Alzheimer's. Someone was like, yeah, I had to write everything down. And it was just a whole bunch of people. And I just absolutely burst out laughing because I was like, it's not me. I mean, I'm amazing. But I blame it on my Crohn's. I blame it on my Crohn's.
Yeah, because you're probably tired and it probably makes you forget, I guess.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
So, Mason, firstly, wow, I'm really just honored to have become friends with you. Like, I'm as shitty as it is to have Crohn's, we met through Crohn's, which is a definite bonus for me. I feel like we're very good friends already, and we were, opposite ends of the world. But is there anything that I mean, I'm maybe not posing the right questions, but is there anything that you would particularly like to say or talk about, or any advice you want to give people? I mean, is there anything that you would actually like to say without me having to interrogate you with questions?
I would like to say, like for anyone that has either Crohn's or autism, just know that it's okay to speak about it and it's okay not to speak about it. But if you don't want to speak about it, just make sure you say to someone if you're for Crohn's, for example, you're in pain. Because it's better to see things sooner than later. You may not like hospitals, not many of us do. But it's something we kind of get used to now. Like I haven't been for a while, really. I normally go for my blood test quite often, but yeah, like you'll learn, like maybe like me, like when I go to hospital, people know who I am. So you kind of get quite popular, I guess. Um,
You do, right?
yeah, yeah, and like with autism, it's slightly different to Crohn's, of course, because Crohn's is the disease and autism isn't. But knowing that, but all knowing that Crohn's is a disease, but always make sure to know that it's not like passable. Like
Yeah.
so some people have family members. I don't. But I do have family members that have like autoimmune diseases and stuff like that.
Really?
Like yeah, um, like um, like in a family line, um, like so sometimes it goes within the family. Some people don't have it at all,
Yes. Yeah,
or
yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that. So it's different like that. So um, and yeah, like there are similarities with autism and Crohn's. You know, like I like a few people have been on here that have had Crohn's and autism, which is quite rare to find. People have both, but then on the other hand, some people on here have maybe chronic fatigue with autism, chronic pain. So it is similar, but just knowing that one is a disease and one isn't, and it's always important because there's still things out there that people will say the wrong things and think they're right, but you always have to make sure when you're raising awareness of certain thing or acceptance, make sure that you're saying the right things. Like I'm always making sure that if I say something about fatigue, or like surgery, like within surgery, normal factors, you're most likely to have it in your life if you're diagnosed quite young with Crohn's. Um,
Right.
I don't know, like have you had surgery? Oh,
I am very fortunate. I mean, I've had lots of surgeries, don't get me wrong.
mm,
I've been sick forever. But I'm very fortunate that I haven't gotten to a stage where I've had surgery for Crohn's. I was very, very close to death, very close. And, very lucky that I caught it in time. And I know that a lot of people have to go through the trauma of, surgeries and things that have to change with their bodies. And that's one thing that I can actually say I'm very, very grateful for. But have you had?
have I? Um, no, I haven't in my life. I had one when I was younger. I had my what, tonsils taken out. So I had surgery, but and something else that I can't remember. I have a I've been lying on my stomach. So
Yeah,
like I've had surgery, but nothing for Crohn's.
right.
I don't have a stoma bag either. Because
Yes,
quite a lot of people do with Crohn's. Um,
it's horrendous.
yeah, I've never had it either, and I think that when you look at Crohn's is when you diagnose. That's the kind of two things you feel. You think, oh no, I'm gonna have surgery. I'm gonna have a stoma bag, but um, that it's good that we haven't. Um,
It is. I'm
yeah.
very grateful. Are you grateful?
Yeah, yeah. I am, and like I always people come in here talk about how it's changed their lives, and I think it's really good, you know, and when people have cyber bags, because I can't imagine myself having it. Like I can't imagine myself showing it on social media either, because a lot of people do. Like,
Yeah.
like you know, it's scary to think about that kind of stuff, but. If it happens, if it was to save our lives, we'll definitely we have no choice, would we? It's not, but for me, it's always a last resort. Like if none of the medications work, um, then we find ourselves in a situation where that's might have to be an option.
You know what? I think that if you and I had to have that, we would rock it.
Yeah, like
Would
people
have
call.
some fashion show and just rock it because I can't imagine, and for people who are perhaps listening to this who do have what is it called? A stoma?
Stoma, yeah, stoma, yeah.
Who do have stomas, not only must it be humiliating and horrendous to go through, but to be able to just carry on and just keep your head up high is just absolutely unbelievable. And I think Crohn's, because it is, and some people refer to it as an invisible disease because it's something that you can't necessarily pick up just by looking at someone. If someone has a stoma, I mean, it's actually something that's quite obvious, and it tells people this is what it is. And the scary part, I think, for me, and I'm not sure about you, is having Crohn's, because it is a forever thing. We never know what's going to happen, and I think that all we can do is just appreciate every single day and just try and do our best to just combat whatever flares we have, or any illness we feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just hope for the best.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think we will rock it, right? But yeah, like you say, like Crohn's is kind of invisible to other people, and in a way, autism is too. And most things are when we don't know about it. And the more we talk about it, I guess the more people know. The more people know, it looks like we're doing all right.
I think it's so important. It's a really serious illness, and I personally didn't know much about it either when I was diagnosed. And that's not because it's not it's not ignorance. It's the fact that it's not spoken about. It's not widely, I mean, people aren't widely educated on it necessarily. And I think what you're doing is amazing, because you're taking people and their experiences and you're actually putting it out there, and you're like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is how it is, this is what it is. And that kind of, and I don't think that you realize the kind of power that brings, because the world needs to know. They need the exposure, they need the education about that. I mean, and we need it for ourselves to be more understood and taken seriously.
Yeah, we do, and like that, like it's good when you have people on here that just tell their journeys and stuff, and because it is important, like, to speak about this kind of stuff, because like
Yeah.
like nowadays you can tell someone about your Crohn's, or have you heard about Crohn's, something, and then they say, normally is that they'll say, yeah, I know about it, like my friend has it, so it is more known about now than it was. So that's good, because but so not everyone will understand. Like really ever, if you haven't got yourself, but you're not going to understand, like, the fatigue. Fatigue is quite like a big part of it for me too. Like, especially
Massive.
when you do an exercise, or even just going out for the day, going out for a walk somewhere, you'll be shattered at the end of the day, or even the next day waking up, you're still want to go back to sleep.
I don't know about you, but have you ever slept quite a while and woken up just so exhausted?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like sometimes I will wake up and then I'll be time maybe halfway through the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does take a physical, it definitely takes a physical toll. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head there. It really is. I mean, something that's so simple for someone else, as simple as a day out and, just a walk or whatever. And we try, and we have to fit into a world that doesn't accommodate us. And really just try and survive the best we can. And it's true, you do come home and feel exhausted and in pain. I mean, I'm not sure if you have arthritis. It's a common thing with Crohn's. I have arthritis.
Okay.
And it's a bitch.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with you. I think that everything you said is completely, I couldn't agree more.
I don't have arthritis, but I suffer a lot with my joints. I've always had, even before Crohn's.
Yeah.
Even days
Yeah.
before. Like, I was like, exercise, I'd be really achy, like my joints hurt. Like, I do click them sometimes. I know I shouldn't. But like, especially my kneecaps, like,
Really?
yeah, Yeah,
You kick your kneecaps.
yeah.
How?
It's hard.
You have to show me.
Yeah, like, you know, when you can't, it's almost like a reward for me. Um, like you don't do it over so many hours, and then you do it, and then like 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 people feel like if someone was with me, you probably think that feels painful, but it doesn't. Like it just feels nice. Like it shouldn't do. I shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
it, but it feels nice. And like I always used to clip my fingers when I was younger, but I don't as much now. Not as much. Um, I have my neck has actually clicked before. And it was very painful when that happened. Never done that before. But I do, you know when you're stretching, you do that, and then it just clipped
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Weren't nice. But yeah, I get arthritis because like I can imagine how painful it is. Because I've always struggled with joints and maybe walking long distance without being in pain. So I understand.
And totally, and I think it's also a huge part of Crohn's is that joint pain. Way before I knew about my Crohn's, I mean, I would walk along the beach, and I remember a particular day where I was walking and I just couldn't walk anymore, and my knee, it just gave in, and I had no idea why. And you know, when you get diagnosed, you can put pieces together now. I mean, now I can say, okay, you know, it's a massive, massive side effect of Crohn. And it just is, whether you have arthritis or not, it is something that, you know, on a daily basis, we do have to factor in and deal with.
Yeah, there's so many things on top that Crohn's can attract. Like you've got so some people have sepsis, having Crohn's, like and like skin cancer you can get if you're too long in the sun without maybe a certain sun lotion, which kind of makes us possibly some of us feel like a little bit like a vampire, can't be in the sun a little bit, but yeah, like I always wear my sun cream, I always put my hat on. Well, if it's really sunny, I'll put my hat on. But yeah, though, so many other things that it can attract, and like I have Crohn's and colitis, so I
You
myself,
have Crohn's and colitis. I
I
also do.
yeah, I both.
You're
So
overachievers, Mason.
yeah, yeah, but like it's called patchy pans actually, like together I think they are
What?
patchy pans. Um,
Okay.
and it's almost like you got a bit of a hybrid, don't we?
Right.
Like a bit of Crohn's, a bit of colitis. Well, yeah, so it's kind of good because like you understand when people come across with ulcerative colitis because it's kind of just a colon, isn't it? And it affects a lot more too.
Yeah.
But for Crohn's,
Yeah.
it's the same with any IBD, but they are
Yeah.
different in their own way. But they're still in the same boat.
Completely. And I mean, having both of them is just the cherry on top of an amazing experience with an illness, I think. It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's very challenging. And can we just reiterate the fact that it is definitely not just about going to the bathroom?
Yes. It's not, is it?
It's really not.
No. Like some people may need more toilets, but it's not just about that. It's so many different things. I don't think it's diet based either. I don't, like I don't think it's that. Like it might be certain foods that you can eat, but like some people have like these these like, nutrients, these drinks, and I don't think it's like that they say it cures it, it like cures it because nothing cures it until like the professional guys kind of come on and say this is the cure, you're not gonna have Crohn's anymore, like it'll die out. But it's not the case. So like definitely not just a toilet
Yeah.
condition.
I mean, it doesn't go away.
No, it's always there. Like some people get in remission, some people don't. I've been in remission once, and that was for a little bit, and then I'm not anymore. So you're
You're not in
fortunate when you
remission
get there.
anymore?
No, I'm not in remission. Are you? Are you in remission?
I am. Recently, though, I've been feeling a lot of stress. I've been feeling, when you start slowly feeling a flare coming on in a very gradual way, which is happening to me. But just briefly, if you don't mind, can you just tell me a bit of going from remission and what are you going through now?
Well, it's not like painful, like not in the kind of flare or anything. It's more like Crohn's levels, not in the same where they were. Well, they went up, and then like it's just that those kind of things is why I'm not in it. And I'm on my levels are in a place where I can stay on like Humira and stuff like that. I'm still on the same medication. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's really hard. Like people can be in it for years. Some people can days or even
Yeah.
an hour. So it is nice when you're in it. It kind of in a way maybe feels like you may feel like maybe before you had Crohn's, like maybe no pain.
Mhm.
So some people do have pain while in remission. Like the thing about the remission that maybe people don't understand is it's not like that you don't get anything like when you're in remission, because you
Yeah.
do. You may get like brain fog, you may get fatigue,
Yeah.
which those things still don't go away.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It remains completely. And I think do you know what, Mason? I just wanted to thank you because I think not only are you so brave especially having something like autism where people challenged you your whole life on how you communicate with people, but just also making a safe space and a platform for people who can relate and just not feel completely alone. And I think it's just incredible. I honestly, and you've kept it up. You've completely dedicated yourself. There's nothing that made you pull back from it. And I just wanted to thank you because if you hadn't done that, we wouldn't have become best friends.
Yeah, there's always that. Like you don't meet all these great people if I didn't decide to do any of this. So it's been great because like it's been interesting. Uh, you just asking me questions this time. Um,
I
so
know, right? How cool! It's finally about you.
yeah, but it's good that we kind of done it in reverse, haven't we? So it's been nice. Yeah. So I hope you well. I've enjoyed it, but I hope you have.
Oh gosh, I've had the best time of my life. I love this. We're totally doing this again.
Yeah, we are. We got to do it again.
Obviously, I mean, I love actually being the person that can ask questions. So, I mean, and I find your story interesting. I mean, there's nothing, I don't sit here and I'm like, oh, he's so boring. Um, so you don't ever have to worry about that. But I think that it's also important for you to express what you've gone through, considering the fact that you spend so much time uh, investing in other people and their problems, but you rarely talk about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. It's been nice, like just I suppose talk about me. Even though when I do speak to other people, I do bring up a few things about my Crohn's, connecting it to someone else's, or autism connecting to someone else's. But it's nice because the Crohn's community kind of want to know about autism too. Like I have people on here
Yeah.
kind of interested because it's nice when you do like a show like this, a podcast thing, where it's not just about one thing. It's about all sort of things that you can talk about.
So many things.
Yeah. Um.
I mean, you think that this is part one. Like, Mason, I'm going to be doing way more interviews with you where you get to speak more and I get to learn more.
Yeah, we are. We're definitely doing it more.
Are
Yeah.
you keen for that? Are you excited
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. 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 I am. It's gonna be awesome. It is.
That's so awesome. And I've
Yeah.
actually and I always have the best time with you.
Yeah. Me too. It's been great. Like, is there anything else you want to say before we before we finish up?
No, I just wanted to thank you so much for actually giving me the opportunity to be the cool person who gets to ask questions and interview you for a change.
Right.
And it's nice to learn about you.
Yeah. Did you have to kind of plan it beforehand what you were going to say and stuff?
You know, I thought about it so much and I actually wrote down questions. And can I be honest? I did not ask you anything that I planned.
I didn't.
It came to me in conversation when I was genuinely curious in moments about certain things, and it just flowed quite naturally. And I think that you are a very good interviewee. I hope I got my English correct.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been good just to relax, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're totally doing this again, I swear.
We got to swear.
Okay, wait, can we pinky swear? Wait, do this.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, put your pinky in the camera. And then we're gonna pretend like we're gonna, yeah, and then kiss your hand. Okay, that's a promise.
Yeah, we got it done. Like we got to do it again.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I actually just wanted to thank you so much for this. I mean, not only did I have an amazing time, but I actually got to learn a lot, which is the whole point.
Yeah.
It's the whole reason why, I mean, I'm genuinely interested in your story.
And I am yours too.
And I think we have a lot more to speak about, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, we got lots more to speak about. It's gonna be fun. Fun when we do this again.
It's so much fun. I look forward to it.
Yeah. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm glad we've done this. And yeah, like we said, we'll be doing this again.
For sure. And you're a rock star.
Yeah, and so are you.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Right. All right. We'll chat to you.
Yeah. It's been great and awesome.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much, Mason. I'm so excited for the next time we do this. And for talking to you later, because obviously we're best friends and we talk all the time. So
yes, and later. Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been, look forward to the next time.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.